Welcome to the Purposed Audacity podcast, where we aim to nurture, amplify voices, and inspire our community to stand boldly in their Christian identity. Join Brian and Charmian Marie weekly as they have riveting discussions surrounding healing, restoration, and purpose. This is Purposed Audacity, powered by PAJE Magazine. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Purposed Audacity. Again, we are winding down season 4, and so last 2 episodes we spoke about business, navigating as Christian business owners, and for these next 2 episodes we wanted to have a little fun. So I am Charmian Marie.
I'm Brian Beal, and I came up with this little game. So we're gonna call this the Wildcard episode. Means, okay, so we wrote down some either phrases or questions or words in this bowl, and so she doesn't know what I wrote and I don't know what she wrote, and so therefore we put it in this, and what's gonna happen is that we're gonna just pick it at random and we're gonna just talk about it for maybe like 2-3 minutes. We're not spend long, but we're just gonna talk very candidly, openly.
And it's 8 topics.
And it's eight of them. So this should be very interesting. She feels like she wrote similar to me. I'm like, I knew you would try to write similar to me, so I went out. So it's fine. It's all okay. Good. We'll see. So here's the bowl. I'll take one, you take one, and we'll just go like that. Yeah. Alright. So first,
you go first.
First one. Who is better at games?
You really went way up with this. Give me context to that. Like what?
Who's better at games? Like, alright, we know I'm better like video games, but like board games or card games. Clearly, I'm better at games,
guys. Let's not even try and facilitate his craziness.
It's one game, and that one game should teach me because she teach me, so she know it, you know.
Let me tell you about the amazing game of Spits, right? Oh, that sounds weird when I'm even saying the name, right? But it's a card game that I played in my childhood, right? And so think of like solitaire or whatever, but you just trying to, figure things out very quickly and whatever. Based on how competitively I played it when I was younger, like I taught him accordingly.
Yeah.
And I mean, so we just had our, nice little
and she was trying to and she showed me instructions and learned instructions, and this girl trying to beat me, but it's fine.
Guys, I don't need to teach this guy.
No, it's fine. One day we're gonna say spit on regular recording. Yes,
we should.
But we like games. We
really do. We like life. We like Battleship.
Yes,
love
Battleship. Especially because I'm like the all-time champion.
Guys,
son, children, when you come,
we should
just know your father is the one.
We should not be. I feel like the people are going to wonder if we're declaring something. Anyway,
it's okay. It's fine. But guys, tell us what games you like, and if you have any games that we should try out, let us know. Maybe try it on video same time. All right.
Hey, right. And maybe we can even plan like a games night. That would be pretty cool.
Games.
But okay, cool. So high five.
All right.
That was his topic.
That was my topic.
Yeah, just weird. And then this already feels like my topic. Oh, look at this. The word manifestation. What comes to your mind when you hear this? Especially as we've had a discussion about this some weeks ago.
First and foremost, let me just say, I think when it comes down to that word, I feel like everybody kind of gets on edge, or especially Christians, it's like, yo, that word, weird word.
I disagree. Actually.
No, I think there are Christians that kind of get on it because it's almost as if like there are different ways as to how to see this word, manifestation. And it has been used in different ways, honestly. And so I just think when it comes down to that, if we're talking about the manifestation of the Lord or God, then I can get it. That's how I put it. Like, yes, the Lord manifests different things in the earth.
Of course.
If we're talking about manifestation through my own power as a being, as a human being, let's not. No.
Calm down.
No.
Yeah, so fine. My love say just start off with that differentiation there, because a reality is that where it toes the interesting line, right? Toeing the line, just walking right there, is where people start saying, name it and claim it. Or, I'm declaring that, by 2 months' time, you will have $5 million and whatever. And, manifest it and da-da-da-da-da. Like, bro,
or play this song and money will come to your account.
Listen, our reality is that there's so many Christians who are falling for those things. And the interesting thing is that I feel like it almost perverts the idea of declaration, the idea of speaking life and all of these things. Because there is a prophetic thing that happens, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, like, if it for me it aligns with the prosperity gospel when people say manifestation and all of these things, like it's almost misused, if you will. And so I believe it's important for us to remember that God is the divine creator, and we walk in surrender to God's will, or I would hope that we do, and so in us walking in surrender to God's will and stuff, it means that even if we have specific desires and stuff like that, we are still committing them to God and stuff, and saying, God, we pray that this is according to your will. Definitely. And if it is not, well, God's will is always supreme.
So interestingly, one of our writers, Victor Brown, he spoke about this on his Instagram. You should check out his Instagram page. He spoke about like 2 or 3 videos in regards to this, and I think he did it really well. And he's possibly gonna come out with more. So check out his Instagram. We'll leave his handle I think it's
I am Victor _Brown.
Yeah, man, just check it. Yeah. So moving on. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is her question.
Wow.
Or it's a question here. Are men and women truly equal in the eyes of God?
Would you like to answer, Sudipai?
Of course.
Go on.
There's no man or woman above either in the eyes of God. We are equally, literally on the same platform.
Right, we just have different roles.
We just have different roles, and we have different callings, and we have different responsibilities that the Lord gives us. We have different giftings and stuff. And I feel like it's us as human beings that try to
create the differentiation.
Just put different people in different things to okay, so because you're in this role or in this position or you have this responsibility, it's like you're higher than me overall in life.
Or you're weaker.
Or you're this or you're that. No, it's not, especially when it comes down to men and women. I would never say that a woman cannot do what a man can. But I would caution a woman to do everything that a man can or that a man will, because and vice versa. Because honestly, it depends. There are consequences on either side,
right?
And we have to be careful as to how we truly walk that out and live that out. But when I believe God sees us, He sees one whole creation that He created, men and women alike. And
in His image.
Literally in His image. You're so right.
Right, exactly. And so for me, I know that there are so many doctrines of various denominations and stuff that literally belittle women and basically seek to shut them up, And I mean, even in the modern day, I know also in the Eastern Hemisphere, like the idea of males and females, like they're just, men are just supreme almost, versus women and thing. And so, I mean, of course, that goes deeply into a lot of cultural issues versus religious issues and stuff like that. But especially as Christians who are choosing to spread the love of God and to empower persons who choose to walk this path of Christendom, I think it's important for us to really look at each other the way, as best as possible, the way that God looks at us.
That's
you
true.
Get me? So everybody recognizes their own identity, their own Christian identity, which is nested in Christ. So it means that Christ loves us. It means that, we are, again, in his image and stuff like that. So let us not try to put other categories or put other means of, lines of demarcation, if you will, that will cause us to try and see person as less than or whatever, or put ourselves under somebody else just because of their gender, that kind of a thing. At the end of the day, God has specific rules for both of us, males and females, and it's important for us to stand in that and treat others accordingly.
I mean, I think we just celebrated Women's Day recently. Yep. So big up all of the women there. Big up on yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
So what did you draw?
So it is clear that in Brian going very much out of the box, like I feel like I did the heavier stuff and he did the lighter stuff, which is great for this actually. I love this actually.
So well.
Wow. So Brian's question: Batman or Superman? No, here's the thing. So this one is very, very, very concerning to answer because for me, hold on, right? Because like I rate Bruce Wayne. You see me? I rate Batman or whatever. I love just how like he uses his natural strength and hold on now, and just how much of he stands for the people and all these things, and he's made a life for himself and he uses. You get what I say, like, him do him thing, is it me? But Superman, like, a long time him have my hands. You get what I say? Superman, like, for me, like, this may sound weird, his two personalities or whatever, Clark Kent and da-da-da-da-da. Like, for me, it's almost like the underdog who, nobody assumes can really mash answer or whatever, then turns into this guy who like saves the world like consistently and is highly respected and all these things. So me, like I'm always going to be talking about the underdog and all these things. So for me, like, so I love just the idea of the invincibility. I feel like I'm getting really intense with this.
Invincibility?
Yeah, invincibility. Granted though with the kryptonite, I mean fine, whatever. But him step out and grow in his powers and all of these things, and him still love people and all these things. Like, yeah man, Superman, yeah man, I hate that.
Alright, if you're talking about underdog, let's talk about Batman, who is the underdog every single day. This man
underdog every single day,
yes,
brother?
You know why?
Why?
Because he's still a human being among many super humans with superpowers. He still has to consistently be teaching himself, consistently be training himself, because he knows I don't have superpowers, but I have a skill. I have to learn,
and he has resources.
And I have resources that I can use intelligently to even stop some of the greatest superheroes and super beings. Let me tell you, man, Bruce Wayne, big up yourself. Batman all the way. Let me tell you that. Because you're talking about, man, you're talking about somebody where you're being like him. No matter what, this man goes through the trenches. No matter what, this man have a plan A to Z, and if there was another alphabet, maybe we could go into the Greek one. But he literally continues to train himself and learn. Noting that, no matter what, and maybe people could say that it comes out of fear. It comes out of like him kind of, crazy certain ways, because him always thinking that something bad will happen and what have you. And eventually, normally it does. But at the same time, the truth is, it's like, him always working out, him always have a plan, him always making moves to say like, no matter what, there's some strategic way to like, so pick up yourself with Superman, no problem, pick up yourself Superman, but Batman.
Fine. I may never say nothing bad about Batman.
I never say something bad about Batman, but just tell you say, you know what I mean?
No problem.
Alright.
Do your thing.
Alright, so next topic. Ooh. Alright. Let's see this now.
You know that's yours.
This is mine.
Yes.
Alright. There's a question. Money is the root of all evil.
Look at
I
you.
have a response, but I want you to say first.
No problem. So it's important for persons to literally recognize that that statement is false, right? Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil, and so it's important for us to remember that, because there are some persons who say that, you know, Christians are supposed to be poor. There are some people who say that Christians are supposed to be, you know, just, yeah, like any rich Christian, like that wrong, that's against God and whatever. But our reality is that God was like, yo, you know, it's in relation to idolatry, especially, you know, if you are putting any other gods before me and stuff like that, then yo, no, right? And so the love of money, like, begins to move you towards greed eventually, begins to move you towards a lot of other lustful things.
Yeah.
And so because he understands the heart of man, because he understands that, you know, man's heart is wicked, you know, he cautions us against that. You get what I say? We are cautioned against that. And so it's important for us to recognize that that's the idea of falling in love with money, so that, you know, that is the bane of your very existence and stuff like that, versus having God as the driver of your existence and everything like that, and focusing on God in all things. Then yeah, that's a problem, you know. And so, and it's when, and especially when you are, you know, that is it. Oh, money from my mind, all of these songs or whatever, all of these things. Anyway, like, our reality is that if that is all that is on your mind, if that is all that defines your existence and stuff like that, and you're literally not paying attention to God and not consciously seeking Him first and all of these things, then that is where things get tricky. That is where you start doing things that maybe literally cause you to compromise on your Christian values. That is where you start almost, like it gets real slippery from there.
What I find a lot of times interesting is that, you know, the truth is, you sometimes we won't even realize that we're in love with money as a thing. I think what normally happens, I believe, is that we are put into situations where we will now have to, what is our resource, but maybe we are thinking this was a source, becomes something where it is taken from us. Right. It is like a job or some projects or stuff like that. You know, we're thinking this was a, you know, maybe out of our mouths we weren't saying it was a source, but really and truly in our minds and in our heart, it was a source. And then it's removed and we're like, what's gonna happen? What we're gonna do? How we're gonna get this? How we're gonna get that? Stuff like that. You understand? Trust me, I've been caught in situations like that. We've been caught in situations like that. Where it's like, and it's like, what's gonna happen? How we're gonna live? How we're gonna do this? How we're gonna do that? And God had to remind us that one of the biggest reasons for this not being in our lives or for this being taken is because He was not being put as a priority, as the source of our lives. And so I believe that He knows, and the scripture talks about like that, even just that adversity, that battle between provision and I'm gonna say provision, not even just money, but provision and God. Yeah. Because we need things. God knows that, and God knows that we need things. We need light, we need water, we need food, we need shelter, we need clothing. And God knows we need these things. But from time to time, there is a battle, because depending on where our heart is at a certain point in time, it can be a struggle to not have these things, to not have this, to not have that. Now, I can definitely understand for somebody who maybe, you know, grew like real poor, inner city life, full, never had a lot of things, work their way up to start to gain things and get things and what have you.
With the hustle mentality.
And with the hustle mentality, and nothing is wrong with trying to seek provision for your family, for yourself, to have a better life. Right. But the way in which you do that, how you do that,
and how where you do that,
and how obsessive it gets, trust me, it does attack the heart, because easily it can become something where you realize that even if you lose this thing, will your life also be lost?
Right.
Or if you lose this thing, will you see it as, you know what? I didn't have anything before. and then I got things, I can get it again.
Right.
And I feel like that's where we have to realize that God is our source. At the end of the day, God is our source.
Right.
And it's really, we have to tap into the love of Him more than the love of money or provision.
Right. And I mean, the last, that was very solid, babe. And I mean, the last thing I'll definitely say to that, you know, in terms of, you know, just money, the idea of money being the root of all evil and stuff, like, in those moments when you're going through the different challenges, I mean, and again, we've been through, you know, in those moments when you're going through the different challenges and stuff, like, be willing to check yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Because it can be one thing where you say, hey, well, you know, yeah, man, like, God at the center of my life, like, Jesus said, you know, like, all of these things, you're trying to talk yourself up and stuff like that. But when you're faced with the real struggles, and when you're faced with things, you have bill collectors calling you all the time, like, all of these things, like, eventually it gets really challenging, and eventually you get into, and I mean, I'll speak from experience, I'll be very transparent. Like, you've experienced me where I just get into this intense beast mode. I'm like, yo, I will not be caught in this situation again, because I had a different, difficult, you know, childhood and moving into adulthood in terms of finances and stuff. So there's legit financial trauma there. And so literally, God has had to be healing me over the years and working on me over the years, where I have to find a balance between, you know, trying to figure out, all right, cool, yeah, let's go into beast mode and, you know, make sure that, you know, my business is good and all these things, versus just understanding that, you know, no matter what, God has us covered. You know, no matter what, God is the one who is our source, you know, and He is the one who will prosper us. He is the one who will see us through and stuff like that. So even if we're low in a moment, even if we're low in a season and stuff like that, it doesn't mean that that is our destination, because we trust and know a God who fully wants the best for us and fully will deliver us from all of our tribulations. You get me? And in the midst of that, we are then working. In the midst of that, we are then putting out, you know, our best and stuff like that. So I mean, so at the end of the day, we're saying again, it is not wrong to want money. It's not wrong to work for your money and elevate your life and things like that. And so it's when you then move money as the source versus God as the source, and make that switch around, and therefore the prioritizing in your life then follows suit, then that's a problem, right? So let's make that differentiation.
That's good, babe. That's good.
Hey, high five.
Hey guys, this is Brian from Purpose Audacity, and if you love this episode that you just watched, I just want to encourage you to click some of the links below to get more resources from PAJE magazine in regards to just helping you with your Christian walk, Christian journey, and how you even can connect with us, all right? So big up yourself. Later.